Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Long kick shout. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies.
This is a goose. You listen to Mark Goes to the Movies. Maybe.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Mark Goes to the Movies, and this one's not about movies. This one's about the Gwar show. So, where do I go? Let's start from the day. So this was a Wednesday. I don't know why bands do concerts on Wednesdays or Tuesdays or Monday. It should be strictly a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. That's what, if I ran the world, you would have concerts Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. But this was on a Wednesday. April Fools nonetheless. So I couldn't missed out on my favorite days really. Even though I'm a supervisor now and I gotta watch the pranks I do, and I've really been prankless for the past 6, 7 years now. But great show. As the usual, the one time a year for sure. Like me and my friends Scott and Goose, we don't see each other as often as we used to. Definitely getting older and more responsibilities and stuff like that. But the one show you can count on is Gwar. Whatever they're playing in St. Louis, uh, I've never missed a St. Louis show from the past, feels like 16, 17 years. The one year they didn't tour St. Louis is when the singer Odorous died. If you've never seen Gwar or you're not familiar with Gwar, please look them up on YouTube. Uh, Show was amazing. It's one of those bands where it's an experience, I think, and they spray you with it's water with coloring in it, but it ends up being all different kinds of bodily fluids is what it pretends to be. Don't worry, they're not gonna do anything like that. I believe during "Hate Love Songs," which is one of my favorite songs they do, they ram a crucifix up the Pope's ass. So just to show you what kind of show it is, and then diarrhea spurts out of it all over the crowd. So obviously it's brown water, nothing fecal matter in that at all. But yeah, it started off. It's so funny. It goes back pretty far, I think. With that's kind of how me and Scott and Goose. Well, me and Scott were friends first, and then Goose eventually came later. There's no backstory on Goose. We never got to do our interview, but Goose, his name's Mark Goosens. He's a Mark II. Couldn't be two of us. There could only be one, like Highlander, and he had to be Goose. Which, to be honest, Goose is a much better name than Mark. So that's how he became Goose, and he worked came in. We all worked at a factory called QPSI. It's a packaging place. They package a lot of stuff for P&G. But when I moved up here, God, that was a while ago. My mom moved up here first. My mom instead to move up here first into a house that was my stepdad's cousin's. He was living in it for free, and they're like, "You could stay here. There's plenty of rooms." And so they got a job at she got a job at QPSI because it was pretty easy to get hired on there. Not hired on, but like pretty easy to work there. They went through a temp agency, and my stepdad went to WBT and then blew that situation. But my mom worked at QPSI, and when I came up here to visit, she was like, "Mark, uh, love the area. South Roxanne is a pretty good place to live, as far as I'm concerned. It's not perfect, but it reminds me of a small town that's also close to bigger cities and more stuff. So that's why I enjoy it." But yeah, my mom was like, Mark, great place to live. You could work at it was God, I forget the it was staff mark. Staff mark was a temp agency. We had to go through. My cousin Josh also might have went through there. I'm not sure. We all lived in the basement though. My cousin Josh, me, and my younger brother Brian all stayed in the basement. We all had to pay like $50 rent to stay there. That was the part of the deal, throwing in money, because QPSI did not pay a lot of money. I'm not even sure it was QPS. It was OHL when we first started. Actually, I know that we made. They don't make these anymore, but they were like these flameless candles, and we were all I had to build those, and it was an assembly line type thing, and that's what my mom's line was on. She was like, Parker, you're two guys, they like wrestling too. Tim and Scott, you really get along with them, and I moved up here, and not for Tim and Scott, but just for the opportunity to. It was something more. We were living in Perryville, Missouri, and I was just waiting to get hired back on to Walmart again, and start that vicious cycle. But no, I started working at. I didn't even immediately get on the line. I started working. It was called OHL because it wasn't QPSI. It was OHL at the time. That's a whole nother story, another episode probably. Uh, but worked for the temp agency, and I didn't get to work on their line automatically, but one day I did get on their line eventually, and headed off of both of them pretty well. And it was the three of us, and then Tim's younger brother Matt, and then a guy named Jared joined the group, and it got kind of like, I don't know what our highest member group was, but it was a pretty decent sized group of people we work with. It was so much fun. Uh, I got along with Tim first more than Scott, and then I would I don't forget what it was. It might have been Gwar that kind of brought us all together. But I remember it was a Taking Back. I won one ticket to a Taking Back Sunday concert. It was Taking Back Sunday in Amberlin. It was at Pops. I don't really know the area, but I won it through the point. And I was told Tim, and I think Tim told Scott because Scott was also going to that show. And the funny thing is, I'll remember the comment was, "Oh, you can get up front and you can watch the fat girls split their wrist or some shit." I don't know. But I was like, I like Taking Back Sunday. I was pretty excited to see those guys. Uh, and then, yeah, eventually, we all started hanging out more and more with the independent wrestling shows. But Gwar is always, I mean, since then, wrestling's not my thing anymore. It's just kind of gotten dumb, kind of outgrew it. My favorite wrestler's not booked here anymore, Darren Corbin. But yeah, Gwar has always been like the main piece. Uh, of like before anything else. That kind of helped grew our friendship, and then Goose is just along for the ride of everything. But yeah, it was all Gore. First shows used to be at Pop. Now they're at the pageant, which is a little bigger. It's a higher stage, so you don't get as wet. Pop's always felt like a special, a little more special. Not that I don't enjoy the pageant, it's a lot safer anyways. But Pop was something else, man. That was a little more dangerous area. It's in Sauget, Illinois, so it's not Missouri. It's in Illinois. I really just missed those shows. Missed that whole place. The atmosphere was super small. But like, because you had nothing to do over there. There's a gas station, you could stop and get a drink and all that stuff and everything. But like, it felt like you were just waiting in line all day, and that was the only thing to do. Whereas where the pageants and the Delmar Loop, there's tons of shops, places to eat stuff to eat. It's like a whole different type of thing. It's Gore is just a part of something, whereas at Pops, Gore is the main attraction. But I still love the pageant shows. I just love seeing this band. The experience is amazing. Uh, the tickets have gone up quite a bit. I remember Gore tickets used to be like $20. Now they're $45. So they've gone up quite a bit. But it's one of those bands where you're like, I'd just like to have them more money. I'd give them more money if they needed it. Gwar needs my well, I don't know. They need more money than Gwar needs my money more than the IRS needs my money. I'll say that. The IRS can go fuck off. For all I care. But yeah, it was. I mean, Gwar is what it is. It's going there. The first time I remember seeing Gwar, there's like a few big hits. You know, Sick of You, uh, Let Us Play. There's like ones that they played for years and all that, and they're kind of the bigger songs. But other ones are just stuff you didn't even know. It's the first time you're hearing it, and you're going for the experience, especially if it's the first time. But since then, there's like so many good songs that I enjoy. Again, seeing them, God, over 15 times for sure. I like Hate Love Songs. I like Jack the World, Immortal Corruptor. Uh, when Otis died, who was the lead singer of the band, and I believe he started it, he passed away, and then they kind of how the band was over with. And then Michael Bishop, who does the character Blothar, he took over the singing abilities and kind of like I don't want to say had a better album, but it was kind of a better album. The one the Blood of the Gods, I think is what it's called, and yeah, just I really enjoyed him. You missed Odorous. Uh, yeah, I just feel like there's so much. I mean, it's weird to try to explain Gwar just over someone's never seen it. My recommendation is look it up on YouTube. Look up the concert videos, the live footage. It's an experience. This one, we'll talk about this one the whole day because it feels like it's the whole day. Um, getting there, I had to pick up Goose. Goose doesn't have a car for forever, apparently. He keeps getting his car stolen. And again, I wish we could do that interview with Goose. His whole story is literally should be it could be a movie, it could be a whole episode itself. Where's Goose is someone that has had his car stolen. I'm doing quotations many times. He has a thing for hookers, I guess is probably the best way to say it. He has a thing for hookers apparently, and they rob him and take his car. I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. This is what happens to his cars. So you needed a ride. I give him a ride. Um, was going to see Super Mario that same day because that's what it came out as April 1st. Instead, I said I'll push it April 2nd. I'll wait, and it was pretty good decision because I was wide awake for the rest of the day. Normally, like normally everything's like early in the morning, and they're like, yeah, get up, and do this and so and so. Well, it's when you're used to staying up all night, it doesn't bother you being out 3 o'clock in the morning. You're good. So I was doing great. But you woke up, skipped the movie, picked up Goose, drove to the pageant. I hate driving to Missouri, by the way. It's so uncomfortable. It's terrible. Hate it so much. There's no other way to. It's just I hate the roads. So like they suck so bad. That's the best way to put it. I'm trying to like not want to tear down anyone from Missouri, but like I went to high school in Missouri. I know what Missouri is. I don't mind Missouri. I just hate the roads and just the. I would say the Loop is is a major tourist destination in St. Louis. Lots to do, lots of shops and stuff. Well, when we get there, Scott immediately has to go do VIP, so it's just me and Goose. I went try out some microphone stuff, and this one went to the international market. They have a lot of Asian candies and cookies and stuff from other countries too. But yeah, obviously they don't say like where the country's from, but it's just like it feels like you're walking into another store from another country. So it's pretty cool. But afterwards, get turn around the bathroom. You gotta go pee, man. You gotta walk all over the place to trying to find a place to go use the bathroom at. But eventually we all find each other and I'm putting stickers all up the loop. We do our usual vintage vinyl run famous record store in St. Louis. Check that place out, and then we stopped at a place called Pinup Bowl, which is right on the Delmar Loop. It's it's a bowling alley technically, although I don't know who's paying this much for bowling. And everyone gets their food and stuff to get ready to get in line. Goose gets the huge thing of nachos, delays the whole thing of us getting in line. Normally we get there super early, get in line and make sure you get up front. That's the most important thing is getting up front. I've never not been up front, so I was concerned when we were so far back in line. Like Goosey's eating his damn nachos, and then actually getting in there. Thankfully, Scott got VIP, had a spot open up enough. I think the spot that I got was actually meant for the woman next to me because she was quite upset and she said something. It was like kind of rude to where it was like, I'm not cutting in, taking someone's spot like someone. I don't know. She's pointing to something. She was drunk and she was a problem. If the downsides, the negatives of the concert is yeah, the people there. Some of the fans are getting younger, which is good because you want the Gwar to stay around longer and you want to have a good fan base. But my God, there was a kid, and if you see my concert footage on Instagram or Facebook, you could hear him just like his voice was cracking. Not good. Dude was annoying. Goose can't hold his spot at all, so he fell back in the crowd by the time Gwar even got on there. But the woman next to me, she was very drunk. She had scars on her scars on her arm. Uh, Definitely a previous user or infections. It looked really gross. It was definitely a little formed. And yeah, she was drunk. She was drinking way too much. The openers were King Parrot and Soulfly, and I don't like the heavy metal stuff like where it's just screaming and I can't understand what they're saying. I don't understand the lyrics. I don't know why these guys like how they know what the lyrics are because I couldn't understand them. But the drunk lady asked me, she was like, "Are you having fun?" And I was like, "I don't really enjoy the first two bands." And uh, I was like, she's like, "What?" Obviously drunk and over exaggerating. I was like, "Yeah, I like Gwar." And then everyone around us, I don't know, they were all together. Like everyone around them was like, "You believe this guy doesn't like Soulfly? What the fuck is wrong with him?" And I was like, "This is Gwar. I'm sorry, I just enjoy Gwar. That's it. They don't have very good openers sometimes. Sometimes you see some good ones. Necrogoblicon, Ghoul, Doyle from Misfits. They great openers, but sometimes you get Soulfly and you're like, that's fucking sucks. Like they're just screaming." And so by the time Gwar came on, the woman next to me just sloshed, just out of it completely. She and then Gwar sprays the fluid, the liquid stuff, the blood and junk, sprays it out. Every time they start spraying stuff, she's whipping her breast out and just to try, and they're kind of ignoring her for the most part. I think at the end of the night, they got her at some point to justify her, make sure she's right, but I think it kind of pushed them away because they're really gross. She says something to me like, "Oh, you're welcome," or for giving for the show. I just want to be like, "Ma'am, you need to have self-respect." That's why I know I'm getting older. Instead of being excited to see some boobs, it was like, I have children. I have two teenage daughters. If my children acted this way, I'd be so disappointed. Someone is your father. And they should be embarrassed. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it was more of a, it's like, I was disgusted by this. Like, geez, what is wrong with it? Like, and again, this is young kids, just super annoying. I feel like I'm getting older. If it gets to the point where I can't do a Gwar show, that's when I'm ready to go. Take me out. I figure I got till 67, so was I'm about to turn 37 in a couple weeks. So let's say 40 more years. I have, wait, no, 30 more years. Oh damn, 30 more years, and I'm out of here. It's I if I can't do Gwar, I'm out. Hopefully I outlive Gwar. They passed their 40th anniversary, so yeah, they'd be at the 70th anniversary. So hopefully I can outlive Gwar. But yeah, it's exhausting on some of these guys in here. And yeah, they cover the Pink Pony Club. Great cover. I have no complaints really. I mean, it's a show. It's a whole show. You're not just gonna get a concert. You're getting a show. You're getting entertainment value. And like I said, they play hate love songs. They play Pink Pony Club, uh, Let Us Slay, Sick of You, all the big hits. So, really good. Even with the people there, I mean, amazing show. Even at the end, it was kind of funny. So we went back to Pinup Bowl, which I think was like one thing in there. Dropped $20 on 4 chicken tenders and a Coke, not even a Pepsi, a Coke. And as we were leaving there, man, the weather was so nice. It was like 60 degrees, very nice and pleasant. And so I was admiring the Moonrise Hotel and all the neon lights on the loop. It was just like a strip, pretty much. And it was admiring all the lights and all that stuff. And no one's out. And we're walking back, so we had to get Goose a picture in front of his girlfriend, started T-Bone. And like I was just talking, I was like, God, this is so nice. And as I'm walking down the street, it's like I see a homeless guy, and my immediate response is, "Oh, there's a homeless guy." Called him out, and he's definitely sleeping. And I was like, I used to see homeless people. Everyone here has homes. They're like cockroaches. If they don't have homes, they go hide, and then they wait to come out at night, and that's when you know they're homeless. You're still rolling around at 2 o'clock in the morning at night in South Roxana. You're homeless. You're gonna know something about it. You'll get a homeless shelter. But yeah, amazing show, just like always. Yeah, you meet them after the show if you really want to. You don't have to pay $1,000 like Scott does. They do the VI, not a VIP, but they'll meet the crowd after the show, and you'll get their autographs if you want them, and say some nice words to them. But yeah, that was the Gore show, guys. Really enjoyed it. It really gives you the concert bug. If I didn't have these tax problems, concert would start adding up for sure because there's a lot of them. I'm just like, I'd like to go see them. And then you see a great show like Gore, and you're like, this is how every show's gonna be. Every show's gonna be amazing, and it's not the case, but I guess what you want to believe. But yeah, Gore has been the centerpiece of my friendships, my best friends in the world. Uh, if you ever are not able to go to a Gore concert, just take me out, because I don't ever want to stop going. Hopefully they tour for another 40 years and they keep it alive. But yeah, that was the Gore show. Uh, if you get the chance, check it out. You enjoy this episode, please share it, like and subscribe. Do everything you want to do to make more money. Uh, I'll do another update on where we're at in the next episode when I review Super Mario Galaxy movie. But this is Mark from Mark Goes to the Movies.